Greetings, I'm at chess.com playing the Komodo 16 rated at 2000, and I spent about an hour playing this game, and if you hang with me, I want to show you the fatal blow that I struck that changed the game around. And I'm going to be honest, the only reason why I know to look for this kind of thing is because I've fallen for it so many times. So every time you lose a game, you can take away and learn from it, because I've been on the other side of this coin so often that I now finally figured out to watch for it and not fall for it. And so that's what I want to get to. These games are a lot of fun to play the bots. And because if you're familiar with my channel, you know I've said it before, I have to go deep in the tank. These 5 and 10 minute games just kill me. I can't think fast enough, if I'm being honest. I like to stare at the board. Reserve 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, and it'll strengthen you up. I want to show this here. Here, I just trying to kick this bishop out of here, and of course, the Komodo isn't just going to let me. And then so now I go back. Seems like a wasted move. And I don't know. I mean, the bishop, I think, is blocked in here. Does still own all this. And it can come back and put a pin on this knight. And, maybe I shouldn't have done it. But, the computer put me behind. What's that say? So the Komodo 16 has a 1.52 on the Richter scale. I didn't think it was as bad as all that, but I mean, there's obviously something maybe that I'm missing here. Okay, so again, I try the same thing on the other side. I'm just kicking this bishop out of here. Okay, so one thing I like is my opponent has double stacked pawns. I like that. And so now we have an open file here. Got a semi-open file here and an open file here, and we got a little standoff thing happening here. So I'm gonna try to get it to where I own this open file. I don't like my opponent to own the open file. Okay, so now I'm loving it, because material-wise we're the same. 2 minor, 2 minor, 2 major, 2 major. But double stacked pawn, isolated pawn, isolated pawn. So I feel like that gives me the advantage. The computer says, no, sir. It's giving my opponent a 1.26 advantage on the Richter scale. But, okay. The computer knows better than I do, for sure. But, okay, so I had to move over, and I don't like that my opponent still owns this open file. I want to own that open file, something I always look for, but it's not the big thing that I want to get to here. And okay, so now I'm threatening this bishop here. Okay, so, and it says, well, I'm going to lay down some heat and put a relative pin on this knight. It's relative because it's not an absolute pin like on the king or something. It's just, you don't want to move that knight, you're going to lose a major piece. So I close that off, and I think this is where it's starting to give me the advantage, and I'll show you something here. Okay, so now I take that, and I'm threatening this bishop. Okay, and now I do have the pawn structure messed up, which is something that I was just bragging about, that I made the opponent have a messed up pawn structure. Now I do, but it was worth it because I picked up a minor piece. Okay, so this bishop was kind of stuck because doesn't have a real good place to go to. It could drop here, but that presents more problems. Because I could come up and threaten that. So anyway, this is what I wanted to point out. My knight owns this square, so pushing up makes it very difficult on my opponent. This is the big key. This is the reason why I'm making this video, is because I wanted to point out this little situation. This is what I've fallen for many times, and I finally wised up and started recognizing it, whether to watch out for it or watch when my opponent does it, and that is simply this position here where I can push up a pawn or whatever, and I own this. You don't want to be in that position. So now, and here's the next thing. So now I've got 2 major and a minor. My opponent has 1 major and 1 minor. And when these are lined up like this, it's like as soon as you move, I'm taking this pawn, unless you protect that some way. And it chooses not to, which I was surprised at the 2000 ELO. So now it should just be good fundamental chess, and I'm about to make a sacrifice here, as you'll see. So this endgame, I went ahead and, yeah, I'll take that trade. When I'm up, I always just keep trading down. Just keep trading down. And you're going to see me make a sacrifice here in just a moment. Because, okay, this is dangerous. So now I realize that it's the dark squared bishop. So I try to tell myself to stay off the dark squares. Okay. That doesn't always mean it gets to work. Now there, right there. Okay, so normally, all things being equal, I would not sacrifice a rook for a bishop. However, I did that because now I've got a pawn over here, which is why I went ahead and made that sacrifice, because I've got a pawn here and a pawn here, and I'm about to kill this off. So there is no way for my opponent to stop me from queening. Okay, I own this. As soon as that king moves away from this area, I'm getting a queen. But I've got stuff going on over here too. So you want to get your king above your pawn when you're trying to promote. Okay, and so now, this bishop has this hammered down, and it's like, you can't stop this queening from happening. Now I've got the second rank closed off, and my opponent's going to try to force stalemate. So make sure your king always has the opponent's king always has a place to go, so it doesn't end in stalemate. And there it is. So I guess the big takeaway from me making this video was I really wanted to point out, and I'm sorry, I know this is annoying watching this in reverse all the way back, but I really wanted to point out my record block is in the way. I can't just point to that move. So if somebody wants to post, hey, why didn't you just click on that move? I can't because my record block's in the way. Okay, so yeah, this kind of thing right here is what I wanted to point out. Watch out for, and watch when your opponent does it, where you can attack 2 pieces, okay, with a pawn. I feel like this is what really turned it around for me and gave me the advantage. Put a 5.4 on the Richter scale. And so, anyway, I hope that helps. A lot of fun. Like I said, if this was a 10-minute game, I could not. I'll emphasize that and admit it. I could not beat it. But if you give me a Saturday afternoon with 2 hours, yeah, that's the big difference for me anyway. So I feel like the 5 and 10-minute games are their own beast. Something I need to work on, because I think it comes down to pattern recognition more than the deep thought. And so I need to strengthen that up a little bit, and then I can maybe just make some 10-minute game videos or something. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, have an awesome day.